Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. This video is about what he should expect or what his stay in prison is going to be like from the aspect of correctional officer. Because obviously he took the life of a police officer. And a lot of people may feel like taking the life of a police officer automatically means that this inmate that committed those crimes are going to have to basically deal with hell from the prison staff whenever they finally get convicted and sentenced. In some cases, this is true. But for the most, to be completely honest, when it comes to that situation, it should be more so towards the staff at the county jail. Most likely, the officer whose life he took may have a relationship with individuals that work in that county jail. They may have dealt with them on a regular basis. So there's a lot of interaction when it comes to the deputies, troop, city police officers, and the county jail staff. So there's a brotherhood there. Technically, across the board, they're all parts of law enforcement. So in the county jail, that's where the staff may personalize it just a little bit more than the correctional officers that's going to be at the prison once he's convicted and sentenced. Whatever prison he's at, those correctional officers may not necessarily view it the same. No, they're not going to like the crime that he did or he committed, but as far as like personalizing it, most likely they won't view it the same way as the staff at the county jail would. So if he's able to, from the surface, it looks like there's no physical harm being done. But when it comes to things like feeding, making sure that you basically get everything that you have coming, in essence meaning that everything that you're supposed to have, that you're getting, as far as like your phone call, access to commissary, hygiene products, food, things like that. Everything that you're supposed to have access to, that's a given, that every inmate is supposed to have. Yes, in some county jail settings, they may, I guess you could call manipulate that a little bit for personal reasons, because they don't like this guy because he took the life of one of their own. And a lot of times, what we'll do is, whether it's right or wrong, we're all human, we'll place ourselves in that position that of the cop whose life that he took, because it's going to easily been one of us. One thing that his crime that he committed could affect, and let me preface this by saying that technically none of this stuff is right. But as humans, we personalize things. Not dead on the inside. We have feelings, no matter how sensitive, that may sound. It's the honest to God truth. So when you have a person that committed a crime like this in your facility, one thing that most likely will happen is, in many cases when it comes to inmates, because we know that they're there not for being Boy Scouts and following rules to the letter. So certain things are expected. Now, when it comes to certain crime, let's say someone who committed an SA crime on a child, a minor, there are no second or third chances. What I mean is, when it comes to breaking certain rules, we may warn them. You may get 2 warnings before anything happens to you. Any type of punishment is administered. But with somebody like this, he most likely won't get any second chances, no warnings. F up, you're going to immediately be punished, which technically it should be like that. As humans, we handle each situation differently, depending on the circumstances of the situation. This dude is not going to get any wiggle room for anything. Now, luckily, it looks like this guy hasn't dealt with any physical abuse, because most likely he's smart enough to know that what could possibly come behind it. And even though certain things, most likely in his mind, he knows that as soon as one gets the opportunity to legally put hands on him, they will take full advantage of it. Now, nobody wants to go to jail. These officers are there to do a job, take care of their family. So nobody wants to put their livelihood on the line. But once that legal opportunity comes, he even comes off as if he wants to harm one of the staff or even one of the other inmates. And that opportunity to put hands on him is going to be taken full advantage of. So most likely he knows that he needs to stay in line with certain things. Now, this is the description of what's going to happen, what's probably most likely happening to him in the county jail. He's not being physically abused. If he's smart, he'll be cautious of what he's eating that they're supplying for him, unless he buys it off the commissary and it's already sealed up. His biggest worry should be at the county jail. Now, when he goes to prison, his life in prison will most likely be no different than any other common inmate in prison. That correctional staff, even though they know the situation, they most likely have no personal relationship with that officer whose life that he took. If that officer has any relatives that work in that prison, that inmate would not be able to go to that prison. He would have to go somewhere else, regardless of how far it is. He would have to go somewhere else because it would not be safe for him to be located in the same prison with a family member of that cop that he killed. Now, even though that cop that he killed may not have any family members that work at the prison or in that Department of Corrections, you may have some friends, may have some close friends. Now, that's a whole nother story. It'll be on that individual person to make sure that they stay professional and don't put their livelihood and also their freedom online because they want some get back with this inmate. Once Mr. Hinton Jr. arrives at whatever prison that he's been sentenced to, he won't have any problems whatsoever. He most likely won't even have to go through the quote-unquote paperwork checking process that the average inmate has to go through, because everyone that's within that prison and general population would already be aware of what he's locked up for. And guess what? He's going to get major brownie points for what he did. And I know it sounds disgusting to us average civilized people, but that's the honest to God truth. There's no more popular inmate in prison than a cop killer. For whatever reason he did it, because there's a 99.9% chance that every single inmate in that institution has a true disdain for cops, police officers, correctional officers, even though they brought their punishment on themselves. They'll still hold that cop 100% accountable for them being in a predicament that they're in. So anybody that has the balls to take the life of one of them, knowing the repercussions that comes behind it, he's going to get major respect across the board from every race. Now, that doesn't mean that he'll be able to go sit at any table in the cafeteria with any group or any race that he wants. No, he'll still have to politic just like the rest of them. Figure out what group he's going to join if he's not already affiliated with a gang now. He's going to be Crip, Blood, or he's going to be Muslim. Most likely, if he grew up never being involved in gangs, he's going to most likely become involved with the Muslims. Now, with the crime that he committed, taking the life of a cop, we know, and I'm pretty sure he knows, that there isn't a chance in hell that he's going to ever get out. Now, at this point in time, we don't know whether he's going to be hit with the death penalty or not. But still, he's never getting out. So he will have to, and he will probably already knows that he's going to have to get acclimated real quick. He's going to have to dive into the prison politics head first, which probably won't be an issue for him, because he's going to have a lot of people that's most likely going to want him to be a part of their card, their gang, their group. So there's going to be a lot of people that want to take him under their wing. For what reason, I don't know. But again, a cop killer in prison is the most respected inmate across the board. Now, when it comes to the staff, it's sad to say, it probably won't be sad to you, but I'm pretty sure to like the victims' family members and stuff, it's sad to say that his crime will not affect them whatsoever. Because you have to understand, we go to work every single day and we're dealing with people who commit crimes against children, people who kill innocent women and children. So somebody that took the life of an adult, even though they're a cop, an adult, he's going to blend in with the rest of them. He's not going to be treated any different. He's not going to have to necessarily look over his shoulder or be paranoid because of what he may believe that the officers are going to try to get some type of revenge for the crime that he committed. He's not going to have to worry about that. Now, he probably won't realize that till he's a couple years in and notice that he isn't necessarily being harassed. But just like I stated for the county jail, any infractions that he makes, most likely he'll be immediately dealt with. No warnings because of the crime that's on his jacket. For the most part, every single inmate is treated the same across the board. But when you're also dealing with humans, emotions come into play sometimes, and that can affect the way that, or affect the outcome of certain situations. Whereas if your emotions weren't involved, then it's a strict black and white way things go. No, you got some people that's going to view him a little bit differently, won't try to cause any physical harm to him, but whenever they get the opportunity to punish him and within the law, they're going to take full advantage of it. But for the most part, he's going to be safe as long as he's not running up some gambling or drug debt. The inmates are going to respect the hell out of him. They might even love him, and they're going to embrace him with open arms. So he's going to have a safe stay. A long stay, but a safe stay.